Okay, in our last tutorial, we've compiled our images, we've opened and saved the file for our Meet John Doe poster. And I have my blank image ready, or blank poster ready to go. I'm going to start adding some different images, some different layers. Each image will come into here as a layer. If my layer window is closed, I can go up here to Window, all kinds of different windows with information. Well, I'm going to use the Layers window for this project. I'll keep that open most of the time. If it's collapsed into here, I can see that it's in here. Alright, now I have just a blank layer in the background, and by default that one is locked. Let me add a new background layer, background texture. I can go through File, Place, Embedded. And I'm going to grab this watercolor image that I think will work out pretty good for this project. I'm going to place that in there. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. So it sort of covers that background area here. And I can double click. Well, if I want to resize it again, I'm on my move tool here. I can move it around. Command T to resize it, transform it, move it larger and smaller. If I hold the Shift key down, then I can distort it. I can actually stretch it out to make it fit in here a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer to this size. I don't want it to look distorted. Now if I let go of my Shift key and I can double click, and there that image is resized. I may have to change it around later, but there it is. Now it's still sort of linked to the original. I can right click, rasterize that image. Right click and rasterize. That way it's an actual photo that I can, photo layer that I can actually do everything possible in Photoshop to adjust it. Let me bring in some of my characters. File, place, embedded image, and I think I'm going to take this image of John Doe here. I think that'll be a pretty good one for the main character. Now remember, we want to sort of reenact at least part of one of those stages of the plot. I'm sort of working on the climax level here, or we can just do different, combine a couple of different plot levels, plot stages, steps, as long as you reflect the feel and look and overall essence of this movie. Okay, so I have my image here, and it's John Doe, but I want to separate him from the background. There's several ways to do it with a magic wand tool, a couple other quick tools back here that aren't quite as precise as the way I'm going to show you. So you could always experiment with those other routes by looking at how to do those online, or this is a more technical way using the pen tool. It takes a little getting used to, but it's a great skill that you need to learn. So if I click on the pen tool, make sure I'm at the top level of the pen tool here. Quickly show you how the pen tool works. I can click, let go, click, let go, click, let go, click, let go. Click for straight lines. Command Z. Undo stuff. Command Z or Control Z. And on PC. Command Z on a Mac. Click, click, and drag gives you curved lines. Click, drag, click, drag, click, drag. Click. I can complete my shape and then do something to that. I can reshape this by coming under here, add an anchor point, or delete an anchor point. Okay, so if I click on there, it adds an anchor point. Then I can come over here to this Path Selection tool or Direct Path Selection tool. I could grab that anchor point, click off, click back on, grab that anchor point and move that shape around. I can grab these anchors, or these handles, and resize those curves, reshape. So these are Bezier curves, very precise curves. So I can get any shape in the world I want. I can go back to my pen tool, delete anchor tool, click and hold. I can get all these other selections. Convert anchor point, so I can convert this from a curved point to a corner, from a curve to a corner. Or click and drag this corner and pull out a curved line. So I can get whatever shape I want. Let me go back to this direct selection tool, and grab that shape and move that around, or back to my path selection tool, and select that shape, and I can delete that shape. Alright, I'm going back to my pen tool, which is up here underneath there. Hot key or short key for that is the P. Pen tool. I'm going to draw a shape around my character here. Okay, and I'm going to start down here. I could zoom in, Command plus plus, Command minus minus. If I'm zoomed in, Command plus plus, I can hold the space bar and move my view around. I'm not moving the actual file, I'm just moving my view of it. Or zoom out. If I zoom in, I got my pen tool, I clicked once, I clicked again. I can get real detailed shapes around my character. Now what I want to do is be a couple pixels at least within my character, a couple pixels within. Hold the space bar, move it around, let go, and continue with my pen tool. Click, and I'm going to click and drag out a little tiny curve. Now, you want to be careful, this takes some practice. Oh, I need a sharp edge here, so I'm going to click. Now click and drag a very small curve. Click, 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 space bar, move, or zoom out, Command, Control minus, and keep going. I'm going to make sure I'm on the inside, like a couple pixels inside. I can go off that image, come back on, a couple pixels inside. These real big curves, it takes some getting used to, but I can pull out a pretty nice curve there. Complete it there. Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. That curve is a little too big. I could fix that, but it's a little difficult, so I'm going to show you more of the easy way. Just make a couple curves around here, around his hat, to his ear. I could zoom in, Command plus plus to get the detail, hold the space bar down if I want to, move around, and continue that shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. The only parts that you really should get it pretty perfect are around familiar things like faces and hands and stuff like that. Okay, using the pen tool, clicking and clicking, Command minus to zoom out. Obviously I can go off here, straight line, come across here. Good. I want to make sure I'm on the layer with that image, which I am. I'm on my pen tool. I'm completed my shape. I started here, I clicked all the way around, and ended up clicking on that same shape. Now if I needed to adjust anything, I could come down here to my direct selection tool, click off, and move any of these anchors around. But I think I got a pretty good selection here, so I can go to my pen tool. I'm ready to go. Now I right click, make selection. It can feather anywhere between 1 to 3 pixels. I think 1 will look good on this. This is a new selection. Okay. And now that whole area is selected. What do I want to do? I want to come down here and either do this, add layer mask on my layers. Make sure I'm on that layer, add layer mask, and it should black out the background. Now the background is still there if you ever need to bring it back, but it does block it out. Command Z. Another way to do this, Photoshop always gives you a couple ways to do anything. Another way to do this is up here in layer, layer mask, reveal selection, so that hides the background. Same thing as clicking, it should be the same thing as clicking down here. Add vector mask. Same thing, gives you a mask around the background, and then you still see the character. Now there's basically 2 levels of this layer. There's that original image, and there's that mask. Alright, so if I'm on the mask, anything I can do, I can undo. So I can come here to my eraser tool. Okay, I can erase back. If it's on black here, I can erase back some of the background if I wanted to. Bring it back in. Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. Or if I click this arrow here, so it's white in front, make sure it's white. Okay, then I can erase parts of my image that I don't want. Command Z, Command Z. Alright, I could erase it 100% in one stroke. Command Z, Command Z. Or I can lower the opacity so it doesn't erase everything all the way through. Also, I have my thickness and hardness of that eraser. Really solid eraser will give me a sharp edge. Command Z. A really soft eraser, a little bit smaller, will give me a softer edge. More of a natural erase. Alright, white, So if I'm doing an eraser tool, white will erase into this image, black will bring that back. And I am working on this mask layer so it doesn't actually affect the original image, and I can always totally undo that. How do I totally undo that? I can click on this mask area, bring it down here to the garbage can, and there it goes. No more mask. Command Z, I'll bring it back there. Alright, I've been working for a little bit, so I'm going to save, file, save, and okay, let me go back to my move tool, Command minus, and I can go ahead and bring in another layer and cut into that one, bring in another one, cut out that image. So I'll have several different images ready to go. File, I've already cut some out, so I can go ahead and place those in here. Okay, I have this one with the background people cut out. And file, place. I have this one with the main bad guy cut out. I'm going to make him a little bit smaller, quite a bit smaller, because I don't want him to compete with my main star. He's got little pointy fingers, so that mean look on his face. Good. Yeah. Command T. I might make these guys a little bit bigger, lower them a little bit. Okay, this one these two have already done some further editing, and I'll show you how to do that with this image. Before I do that, let me move some things around. Here's my main character. I can give him I can change the name of my layer by clicking, double clicking, and call him John. Here's my people. So I can rename these layers to help me remember who they are. This one I've called Baddie, good enough. And I can rearrange these. I want John on top. I can click here and drag him all the way to the top of that layer. I want the Baddie in the bottom. I can bring him behind these guys or bring him back in between. Here's my background image. I can bring him all the way up here or bring him all the way in the back. And rename it. And my background image of white I'm going to leave there. So that's how you cut out different layers. And now I'm going to show you how to, in my next video I'll show you how you can adjust some of these different layers.